We are now recording. Oh, here comes Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning, everybody.
Everybody's muted, so
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll mute myself.
that's okay. No worry. No worry. This is family week here today. Everybody knows everybody. So
Yeah. Okay.
so we're gonna invite the singing bowl to join us as we begin our service today. The Christ candle is lit. We know that represents the Christ light that's present in each one of us. So good morning on this Mother's Day. We've already said greetings to everyone, May the 9th, 2021. And good morning to everybody. Everybody knows everybody here, so we probably need to relax the formality a little bit. But since others may be watching this later, we'll go through the service and like we usually do. So, and the first thing I do with that is I've hidden my Zoom. Here it is, and we'll start the service. So today again is May the 9th, 2021. It's Mother's Day, and that's the first greeting of all. So that's so important today is Mother's Day, and we're going to talk a little bit about how that shows up in our lives throughout the service today. And matter of fact, here's a quote by Rumi. We are born of love. Love is our mother. So that's if we unpack that, we are born of love. The universe is love. We know that, and we are love, and love is our mother. So that's how we are born. We're born as love. So I think that's a beautiful way of opening the service today, is to hold that in our awareness that we are born of love, and love is our mother. So let me get up here to where we want to go next. So that's kind of our thought for the day, is we are born of love. Love is our mother. And whether you're watching this with us live on Facebook, or Zoom, or later on YouTube or Facebook, streaming with us now, we welcome you. And today we're using our booklet, How to Stay Centered No Matter What, and the power of power. And I'm going to talk some more about that as well. The power of power. Philip represents the apostle disciple. Philip represents power. It's located in the throat, the back of the tongue. Looks like I'm buffering a lot. My image is buffering, I see. So we'll keep going. Maybe it'll clear up. Let's see how this song does by Daniel Nahmod. I know several of you, we've mentioned it during the week, several of you are watching Daniel Nahmod on Monday nights. He's unpacking some of his songs that he has written that are so powerful for all of us. And the Water album was the latest one, and I've enjoyed it so much I wanted to share. We haven't heard it in a while. This is Water by Daniel Nahmod. And listen to the words of this. Unpack these words and listen to these words and see if they speak to you.
I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill, no more I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, he spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I Yes, he knows every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head up hill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have reeled against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I never won, for the heartache that I felt. But it always seems when I let go, expectation and regret. Life has plenty of surprises for me, yeah. I wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head up hill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head up hill no more. I am bound for the sea.
Thank you, Daniel Namod, and thank you, Nancy Sanders, for joining in and getting to listen to that. I know that's one of your favorites, and so I'm glad you were able to get on and hear it. So I was saying earlier that Daniel Namod's been having Monday nights with him on each album that he's been doing, and that's what he's been doing the last 2 weeks. So, this is such a powerful statement. I keep including it. I think every once in a while that we'll take this out and do something else. And then I don't know what I would do without it. If the only prayer you said in your life was, your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. We know that's the truth. And then also what we learned from our recent book study with the Afterlife of Billy Fingers that Becky facilitated for us with author Annie Kagan. She quotes Brother Billy as saying, "Thank you is a high message, possibly the most healing message of all. Thank you aligns me with the grace that comes from the universe of the soul." So we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit, thank you, God, thank you, all names that are holy and sacred for this presence that we know that we are. So let's pause in just a moment and pray. And I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable and just raise your consciousness up to connect to that place where we know love exists and love resides in us. Today we celebrate and honor and make aware and bring into our awareness this all mothers that in our community, in our town, our country, the whole globe. We honor mothers today. And specifically, we honor that motherly love that comes from mothers. And if some of us may have not received that love directly from our mothers, we're getting it from other people in our lives, friends, and even the universe, for we know that is the essence of the universe is love. And that motherly love permeates all that we say and do, and we know, and we're so grateful for that, for we know that God is a love that has no end and a power that knows no bounds. God's healing power of divine love is restoring, healing, and revitalizing our world in this very moment. We let go of any fears or anxieties, and we affirm that all are safe, healthy, and protected. We bless all those who support us in maintaining vibrant, radiant health. We celebrate the work of all who promote and seek to promote social justice in our country. We pray for guidance and wisdom as we seek to do what is ours to do. We express divine life in all that we think, say, and do. We bless our global family with radiant health, peace of mind, and abundant love. And in this awareness, we are aware and celebrate that we are an eachness in the allness of life. And so it is. Amen. Unity is positive, practical spirituality for all. So what are we for people who are watching this, and all of us know how we define unity, always looking for maybe a better way to describe it for others who haven't found out about us yet. Unity is for people who might call themselves spiritual but not religious. It is for those who sense the depths of their own being and celebrate the awareness of a power greater than themselves. So we talk about inspiring and empowering personal transformation for ourselves and for all who cross our path, regardless of faith or essence of who they are, because the divinity within is what we celebrate. Unity's 5 principles are the essence of what we teach. There's only one presence, one power active in my life. Our true essence is inherently good. We fully express our essence as divine beings. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts and feelings held in mind. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with God. And then through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. So we contemplate these in our life, in the course of our lives. They're not platitudes. We may repeat them to hold this consciousness, but this is the essence of who we are. We are proceeding through the year to celebrate with AG&T, Association for Global New Thought, the season for nonviolence. So in our continuation of that, we have every week there's a thought for the week that you can find on the website. There it is right there on the website, agnt.today, season for nonviolence. And then we also bring these to our meditation group. They're listed in, we put them in our MailChimp email distribution. So take a look at these and see if this resonates with you. And, participate in this, at least in your consciousness for this season of nonviolence. We have our weekly activities on Zoom this week still. Tuesday, 6 p.m. ACIM, facilitated by Rose. Thank you, Rose. And Wednesday, coffee and chat. I'll be there as long as most of you guys are there. Thursday is meditation at 11 a.m. Before the service started, I was feeling I had a call for sinus infection or something. I didn't think I'd get through meditation without coughing my head off. So Rose filled in for me, and I heard from several of you that was great. So thank you, Rose. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. Also, thank you all for your continuing donations and to support this ministry. I'm so grateful and humbled every time that we talk about this. Charles Fillmore said, the spiritual substance from which comes all visible wealth is never depleted. It is right with you all the time and responds to your faith in it and your demands on it. So thank you for continuing to donate. You can donate by going online, click the donate button, or mail a check to the address that's also on the website. So thank you. Thank you for your giving hands. So let's say, put your hands together and let's say our blessing for our offerings. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. Let us pray with you. If you have prayer requests, you can email them to me or email them to Becky. Becky is helping assist us. She's agreed to be our prayer angel. We've been a little disjointed with that. I apologize for that with all the COVID and the pandemic stuff. We'll get that back going as we start meeting in person again. I hope to get the prayer chaplain program going. If you want to be a prayer chaplain, let me know. Be thinking of that, praying about it, let me know. So, but in the meantime, let us pray with you. You can let us know. We'll hold the prayers here for a few days, and then I'll send them on to Unity Village. You can call Silent Unity directly. There's a prayer app that you can download. So, you can find multiple ways to join together in prayer. So if you would take a deep breath and begin to settle into your seat wherever you're sitting. Sheila's going to read our daily word today. Sheila?
Thank you, Ron. Today, daily word is blessing mothers, and it is, I bless and honor all mothers. I am grateful for their love. I bless my mother and all mothers. I am grateful for their nurturing love. My mother's love lives in my heart, just as her wisdom resonates in my mind, whether she has passed or is still with me in this dimension. I feel deep appreciation and tender affection for those who bless me with their selfless gift of motherly love. I would not be who I am without them. I share the blessings of a mother's care and devotion. I embrace opportunities for sharing affirming thoughts, encouraging words, smiles, and or simple acts of kindness. God is the principle of love. I honor all mothers when I use love to express all my feelings of love, sympathy, and compassion. Today's, if you could join with me, I bless and honor all mothers. I am grateful for their love. Once again, I bless and honor all mothers. I am grateful for their love.
Thank you, Sheila.
You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete, you are love. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete, you are love. You are love, you are love, you are love. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. There is nothing I need to change. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am seen. I am heard. I am loved for who I am. There is nothing I need to change. I am seen. I am seen. I am heard. I am heard. I am loved for who I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am complete. I am complete. I am seen. I am loved. I am heard. I am safe. I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved.
Now, if you haven't already done so, I invite you to close your outer eyes for a few moments of inner reflection, contemplation, and meditation. Let's go within to make these statements that Karen Drucker has just blessed us with, so we can own these feelings and these thoughts and this awareness. So as we begin, you take a deep breath in, please, and then just feel your body rise up, and then exhale and relax. Another deep breath in and relax as you exhale. And now one more breath, and as you breathe in from the top of your head, your crown chakra, your faith center, and breathe into that place and let it then flow through this life force, flow through your body, and exhale through the bottom of your feet. Just have that image in your awareness. And take a couple deep breaths and feel that again, this life force of the breath flowing through you right now. Every cell and every organ of your body is quickened to this energy of love, this awareness of who you are. So take these messages into your inner knowing, into this place of intuitive knowing. I am seen. I am heard. I am loved. I am safe. I am enough. I am complete. I am loved. Let that set and let that reside deeply into this intuitive place where you know this is the truth of your being. This truth where we know that the universe offers this completeness, this awareness of who and what we are. And on today, with this Mother's Day that we're celebrating, we know motherly love is a big part of this love that we feel in this manifestation. And not only in this, but it is even in the absolute realm. It comes from the universe, this place of pure love, of peace, of quiet that lives and moves and has being through you and as you. Take one more intentional breath and then let go. Exhale fully. And set in the silence with these thoughts, these awareness of who you are in the silence. In the silence. And very gently, very slowly, just take your time. Take another deep breath in. You can begin to return your awareness to this place, this physical place, by moving your fingers and toes to just begin to awaken in celebration of this awareness, of this love that lives and moves and has being in each one of us. And when you're ready, you can take a deep cleansing breath, inhale and exhale, and then open your outer eyes and be fully present right now. So continuing our talks on how to stay centered no matter what. This week, I'm going to share with you some thoughts about the power of power. The power of power. It sounds a little confusing, doesn't it? Are you confused about that? The power of power. None of the other powers that we've been studying have been like that. So the power of power, it's a little weird. So I know it's a little confusing. As a matter of fact, it sounds like we're about to have a physics class. It reminded me of a physics class when I was in college, high school and college. So where we define terms like power and work and energy, power of power. Matter of fact, I even had one of you guys, I'm not going to say who, send me an email this week and say, was that a mistake on the title? Was it supposed to be power of prayer? And very logical assumption, because it does sound confusing and even a little redundant. But I promise, it sounds a little redundant, but I promise you, this is not a physics lecture on the definitions of power, work, and energy. Even though I did pull out my physics book to refresh myself on some of these terms. I'm sure you did the same, right? All of you pulled out your physics books and did the same. No, maybe not. I told my wife that, and she didn't think it was funny at all that I was even mentioning physics. So she didn't get the humor, I guess. So the title, power of power, does seem redundant and a bit confusing. In today's language, power gets a bad rap. Power is sometimes like judgment. We may think of power as frequently associated with terms like power hungry or controlling of others or domineering. That's the rap that sometimes when we say the word power. So for our purposes, we know the basis for this is the power of power is based on Charles Fillmore's book, The 12 Powers of Man, published in 1930. It's interesting that, I've studied these for quite a few years, the 12 powers. The early writings, this Charles Fillmore didn't invent this. He didn't create this. He definitely developed it to a more foundational level that we study today. The early writings of the 12 powers of the inner, it's an inner power, if you will, was Emma Curtis Hopkins and others back in the 19th century. Charles Fillmore wrote articles about the inner power in his book, Christian Healing, in 1909. In 1912, Charles Fillmore published a weekly unit in Weekly magazine. He published the introduction of what was to become his 12 power books. That was in 1912, very popular and reprinted several times. And then Cora Fillmore, who we don't hear much about, was Charles Fillmore's second wife. They were married in 1933 after Myrtle's passing in 1931. So Cora was, before that, she was for years Charles's assistant secretary, if you will. And then they were married after Myrtle's death. And, there was as you can imagine, there was a little bit of shakeup and stirring of comments in Unity Village. But Cora was to her own. She had a lot of good things to say about the 12 powers. When Charles published the 12 Powers of Man, that's the title, in 1930, it did not include any of Cora's writings. The 12 Powers in 1999, the 12 Powers published in 1999, brings forth both Charles and Cora's writings. Cora's writings are included in the book entitled Christ Enthroned in Man. So that's just an interesting thing when we talk about 12 powers, where did they come from? While Charles put together the concept that we know today, it wasn't original with him. It didn't start as originally. And we know that the 12 powers or abilities, as we now call them, allow us to live life more fully, consciously, more masterfully. And per Charles Fillmore, power is located in the throat at the base of the tongue and is represented by the Apostle Philip. To help clarify the power of power, the words dominion and mastery are also used to more fully describe what this power is about, what the power of power is about. We each have the power to have dominion over our thoughts, words, and feelings, even in times of a pandemic. Isn't this is how we stay centered no matter what? Having dominion over our thoughts, feelings, and words. So from our booklet, How to Stay Centered No Matter What, Reverend Karen Romstan writes the essay this week, and it's she's from Unity of Greenville in Dallas, Texas. 2 or 3 little quotes here from her that are just really full and rich. The power of my thoughts and words moves me even closer to the truth of my being. That's all what it's all about right there. And she goes on to say, when I practice the power of dominion, I am free to choose at any time the thoughts I allow to remain. So we sometimes can't, the thoughts that we always talk in meditation, thoughts come and go, and we can decide what remains. That's how we have dominion over our thoughts and feelings. Excuse me. Our words possess the ability to make messes and to manifest beauty. And that's so true. You heard that. We've all probably had some sense of that, where we're not in mastering our dominion, and the words that come out can make messes and to manifest beauty. So, let's see. A change in energy of a system or object is equal to the work done to the system, which is equal to the force applied to the object for a given distance. Now, see, right there was an example of me not having dominion over my thoughts, because I resorted back to physics. So I'll not do that again. I won't go back to physics, but so I made a mess of this talk by having to revert back to that physics, I guess. So we're not talking about the power from physics. I will use my words now, continuing on in my dominion, for thoughts about this talk. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, who you've all heard of, has written a number of books, a number of metaphysical books, including Heartfelt Metaphysics. And he says we're always using the 12 powers or abilities. We're always using them either consciously or unconsciously. And we are using the 12 powers to raise our own consciousness, to live a life more fully, and to be the best demonstration of the Christ within. All of the powers or abilities can be misused. For us, it is best to focus and emphasize the positive side. Power, dominion, mastery has a dual function, and we use it to master and have dominion over new ideas and concepts, especially the divine identity, divine ideas and principles. But Paul Hasselbeck says it is also the ability by which we have control and dominion over unwanted thoughts and feelings and beliefs that may interfere and impede our ability to master the divine ideas and truths. So we use the power of dominion to control. And it's interesting to me in this, what I was reading in this, and the booklet talks more about words, talks more about thoughts and feelings than it does the words, which are what we express, because we know the words first have form in mind, in God mind. So the thoughts are what we're trying to really to have dominion over. A person who has power, dominion undeveloped, Paul Hasselbeck says we can either have these powers can be underdeveloped or overdeveloped, each one. A person who has power, dominion underdeveloped results in a person who is challenged or cannot master much. Underdeveloped, that was underdeveloped. This person has little grasp of many ideas and concepts, maybe. One that's a person who has overdeveloped ideas of power or dominion sometimes can be domineering again or controlling, and that's the way these manifest. They can either be underdeveloped or overdeveloped. Not a judgment, nothing to. We just aware of them, and we can use them to help us. So as I was, as I was preparing this talk, I thought I was trying to think of a personal way that this reaches me in my own life. How do I use the power of dominion or mastery in my own life? And to me, there's not a better example of these teachings and how they apply and how you can see them than in the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And why do I say that? Well, the 12 Steps, the 12-step program, have saved and transforms lives by empowering personal power. AA has given many a path to raise their own consciousness and to change their thinking through the power of dominion. I was reading about that to see. I had forgotten how much it had grown. There's over 2 million people, 180,000 clubs around the world. And so it is a powerful thing, and it has affected my life and some of yours, I know, but it's a demonstration. It's just one demonstration of the power when we have dominion over our thoughts, feelings, and words. In Richard Rohr's book, Breathing Underwater, Spirituality in the 12 Steps, he links the wisdom of the 12-step program to the marrow of the gospel. In other words, the meat of the gospel. The title comes from a poem by Carol Becklick, Breathing Underwater, relating addiction to learning to breathe like breathing underwater. So in his book, he says he looks not only at the trapped individual from addiction or alcoholism, but also points out similar parallels in others, including institutions, cultures, and nations. So he begins this book by wondering whether addiction could be one of the very helpful metaphors for what the biblical tradition has traditionally called sin. It's a connection, if you think about it, what that could be, and it's as a metaphor. And he thinks that's the first connection that shows the parallel between the Gospels and the teachings of Jesus in the 12-step program. The 12-step program parallels, mirrors, and masks and makes practical the messages of Jesus, but without as much danger of spiritualizing the message and pushing it into a further physical world. Going to the pain. The beginning of AA is the experience of powerlessness. Now I thought that was a good, opposite side of the same coin. So to get beyond the pain, there's a powerlessness. Just as Jesus always went where the pain was, wherever there was human suffering, Jesus was concerned about it, and it's healing now. So it is with us. Wherever our pain is, we first have to acknowledge that we're powerless in that moment, in this physical realm. And then we can come out of it by using these tools and affirmations. And at times we're all spiritually powerless because we forget and then do not retain the thought of separation. We follow our ego or our small self, not just a person physically addicted to a substance. Rohr addresses his books to everyone, not just alcoholics and addicts, and that we all have this powerlessness to see for ourselves. Now, we disguise this powerlessness in different ways and overcompensate for our hidden and more subtle addictions and attachments, especially our addiction to our way of thinking. This is a really good, and that's what we do. What I've done through AA for years is in AA, we have a thing, it's stinking thinking. We get rid of the stinking thinking. We work the steps to change our thinking. It's the same thing as what we talk about with the power of power, dominion, and mastery. We all take our pattern of thinking as normative. We think our own pattern is normative, logical, and surely true, even when it doesn't fully compute. I'll raise my hand. I'm guilty of that a lot. When we all take our pattern of thinking as normative, and it doesn't always work that way. So foundational, Richard Rohr in his book says foundational with Jesus and the 12 steps of AA are saying the same thing. We suffer to get well. We surrender to win. We die to live. We give it away to keep it. Let me read that again. We suffer to get well. There is suffering, and we know, the Buddhists talk a lot about the suffering, about how to let go of suffering. We surrender to win. We die to live, and we give it away. Now, Richard Rohr goes through every step of the 12-step program. Obviously, don't have time to do that today, but I want you to look at a couple things that he says on the first step of AA. The first step is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. And he says, and this is a paradigm that we've always thought, it's a mystery why God created the world this way, why power is at its best in weakness. What is this? It's almost an oxymoron, surrender to win. Paul says in Corinthians, he says, it is when I am weak that I am strong. I think for me, that's about humility. When we are humble and seek this place of humility, we become stronger. Now, all of this that we're saying about this we know that this is about our ego self. It's about the relative realm that we live in this physical universe. It is not about the absolute realm where we are whole, complete as we are. So it is not to be taken to beat ourselves up with, or it's to process that and to look at it. I've had some would say this is limiting ourselves when we apply the 12 steps. It's naming who we are from this relative side, but again, not from the absolute world where we find truth and wholeness. Some may say the relative is from the relative sense, this is where many people find themselves. At the time they pick up the AA program, that's where they find themselves. You've seen this many times, that people who have moved from success to success seldom understand success at all, except their own limited version of it as they see it. People who fail to do right, we all fail at times, even by our own definition of right. We're the ones who seem to break through to enlightenment and compassion. Let me think about that again. The ones of us that as we fail, even if it's our own consciousness that we know, as we fail, we break through to enlightenment and compassion. People that I was guilty of this too. Or experienced this as I was in the corporate career. I didn't know what success was. Not for me, was working 8 days a week, 30 hours a day. That was success. Drive. That's not the way to get to enlightenment and to compassion. So people who failed to do it right, whatever right means, even by their own definition, are those who break through to the enlightenment and compassion. For me personally and millions of other people in the AA 12-step program, it's a perfect example of using our ability of power, dominion, mastery to rise after a fall, raise our consciousness to be the best we can be. I change my thoughts and words to reflect my true self. And Richard Rohr says it is the imperial ego that has to go, and only powerlessness can do the job correctly. Now, even that is controversial to some degree until you kind of think about it. What does he mean by the ego is powerless? In a sense, the little self has to go so the big self can rise. There's a Thomas Merton, who is a monk at the Abbey of Gethsemane, says it, but he's got the best dissertation about the true self and the little self, the small self, and it's the same concept that until we're on our, in essence, the metaphor, on our knees, not physically, but in our minds, can we rise above that and get to the job correctly. So our lesson here is, how do we stay centered no matter what with all this? We use our power, dominion, mastery to elevate our consciousness. The power can best be expressed in the words of the Serenity prayer. Bill Warner mentioned this a couple of weeks ago too. So this is where I'm going to leave it with you. This is what the bottom line for all this is, the Serenity prayer for me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Namaste. Rather than call up another slide, we'll close the service by me giving this blessing, the prayer of truth to you as we close our service. Again, I've gotten this from a buddy of mine in Fairfax, Virginia. I don't know who wrote it. I need to call him and find it. But if you would, just prepare to receive this blessing if you would. This is the prayer of truth. Instead of the prayer for protection, this is the prayer for truth. As the light of God, you shine. As the love of God, you embrace. As the power of God, you stand in truth. As the presence of God, you radiate love. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Namaste. God bless, my friends. Happy Mother's Day.